We got more men on the panel than ladies. Holla. Happy 2024, Stack family. Let me tell you something. Black folks this year in 2024, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's numerology, but there's something going on in the air. And we're going to jump. We decided we were going to do a club side tonight because the first week of 2024 has been off the damn charts. So I was just like, I don't know why. We just decided we just want to unleash all shit. And clearly, we are going to kind of just jump right into it. But let me introduce our guest. We have, I cannot stand it. We have Taraji's lawyer. Is that what we call ourselves tonight? He's anonymous. He's Taraji's lawyer, who should the lawyer she should have had to negotiate her contracts. Mr. M, Esquire M is what we're going to call him. Hi, M. Next, we have Montaigne, our producer extraordinaire, and of course,
you got me confused as the producer. I gotta apologize. This is the M you're talking about.
This is the M I'm talking about. Yes,
okay.
Taraji.
I mean, Mr. M. My bad, y'all.
We'll call him MC, M, and then Taraji's lawyer, yes, and then we also have we haven't had him in a long time. Our ultimate disruptor, Kofi Schoolboy, Lord have mercy, is back. So he keeps us on our toes, and of course, our amazing producer, Montaigne Logic, and of course, y'all, Miss Sunshine over there. So y'all, what the hell? First of all, we're gonna start with the obvious because I feel it's a week old. It came out like last week. I was watching it instead of doing our show. Cat Williams. Did we just go straight into it? What the entire he just is like it was like diarrhea of the mouth, but he was true fish.
But listen, all his shows are sold out. All of them are sold out. Every one of them. I thought that was genius marketing. I mean, there was definitely embellishments. Ain't no way somebody can read 3,000 books in a year. I don't even care if it's audio books or not. Ain't nobody reading 8 books a year. A day. Sorry.
8 books a day? You mean 8 books a day?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's Cat in the Hat, yeah, you can read that shit. Green eggs and ham, I am. But I mean, I think the thing that kind of the quotes were amazing. The one that I love was when he said winners are not allowed losers to rewrite history. That was some dope shit to me. I was like, he was speaking crazy facts. And I think he just threw Shannon Sharpe completely off his guard.
Well, first of all, Shannon lost that interview. Like he just, Cat just kind of took over that whole thing. And Shannon couldn't get back his power in that dynamic, because Cat was just out the gate, off the chain. It was just like, hey, how you doing, Cat? And then he was like, just unleash some bullets. So, I don't know. There you go.
Gentlemen, what did y'all think? Did y'all watch it? Go ahead.
And like you said, Cat came out hot from the jump. And I appreciate that type of content. I really do. I love to see when somebody has a lot on their mind and they just let it go with no filter. Like, who doesn't want to watch that train wreck? Everybody, last time I checked, 36 million views on that. It's been like a week.
Shannon Sharpe should send him a check.
36 million views. Everybody wanted to see it. Really?
In essence, he got a check because all his shows are sold out. All.
Yeah, that check would just be an honorarium at that point.
Yeah.
You know what, too? Can we talk about for a second? Can we talk about for a second what the heck was Shannon Sharpe wearing?
Don't be talking about Shannon Sharpe. That nigga fine now. Look. He had on his regular jogging suit. He was
Man,
They can't
how
have
tight
a
is that?
about that.
Yo, that outfit was so tight. I felt like if he laughed too hard, we'd have to put a warning on that thing. This dude's outfit was really, really tight. It was kind of distracting, to be honest.
Oh wait, so you have a problem with Shannon's outfit and not Kat's?
That's why I was like,
Nah, I don't have a problem with Cat.
Okay.
oh
Yeah, I just thought that outfit was doing a lot, man.
somebody said fake ass Fendi jacket.
Hold on, let me get that up there. That was
Who was that? That was Mike Epps. Mike Epps said that he was lying because it's not fake, but he just wanted Cat to say something about him.
Yeah, everybody wanted Kat to say something about him. But you know what's funny though? I feel like I've watched Friday After Next. I don't remember Money Mike.
You probably didn't see that particular Friday.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the three of them.
So do we consider brothers, because I always feel like brothers like Kat always get the short end of the stick because of their genius, supposedly, are they completely or is it insanity? Because I think people have been painting a picture of him as he's on drugs, he's unstable. Somebody said niggas will do it. Somebody in the chat said Negroes will do anything for clout. I mean, I'm just
All right. So I'm gonna lay it out there.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
What Taraji's lawyer?
As Cat Williams' future lawyer, I feel like I have to say he was going through a moment, right? We all know that Cat suffers from, bipolar disorder, and they caught him on the wrong day, at the wrong time, and they probably gave him a little bit of alcohol, something to, get his mood going, and he came out swinging, right? Because he wasn't out there trying to make friends or heal any past wounds. He didn't do anything like that. He came out and he said, here's all the things that pissed me off for 20 something years. And he went after everybody.
So Mark,
I think
so MC, you're saying it was a chip on his shoulder and he he just brushed all the chips off at the same time that night.
I think he got set up. I think whatever they had him drinking in the background, I think they set him up. Look, he's got alcohol in front of him. What kind of responsible person? Yeah.
Come on now.
You know that Cat Williams is reckless, and you give him alcohol, and then you start prodding at him. Of course he's going to say some shit. This is Alligator Man from Atlanta, right?
Alligator Man.
First of all, he is from Cincinnati, Ohio. He is up south. I beg your damn pardon.
Salute to
in the show Atlanta. Sorry, he was in the show Atlanta, and he basically played himself as a character called Alligator Man.
Yes,
right?
And he won an Emmy for that.
So you think that's the true Cat Williams, Alligator Man?
We just saw the true Cat Williams, no holds barred, no handling. Right, and then they gave him a little bit to drink, maybe a little bit to sniff.
So wait. Y'all don't believe any of the stories around Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley and especially Cedric the Entertainer.
So I'll chime in. So first of all, I think Schoolboy was talking about just to bring it back. I think he was talking about dude's nipples was poking out that shirt, huh, Schoolboy? That's what he was talking about.
Yo, it just seemed like he was. I don't know. I've never seen an outfit like that, but it seemed like he was wearing pajamas. That's what it looks like to me.
He got no socks.
I can't believe that's the biggest problem that y'all got. But it's
I feel a little envy and hate. Were y'all mad at his muscles?
Listen. I don't have a comment on his muscles, but like I said, I feel like he could have used a little bit more room in those clothes. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't mean to just bring it. I just wanted to, chime in with Schoolboy.
Don't be mad at his man cleavage and Shannon is fine at 55.
His nipples, his ankles and shit. Anyway, as far as what Kat said, I think we all have our versions of stories. You know what I mean? Like when we fall out with people or when people get on our nerves and or when we have coworkers. So essentially he's talking about coworkers. And when we get into it with our coworkers, we go home, we tell our family, we tell our friends, we drink, you may take a smoke, and you're done with it. You know what I mean? And for him, he can't be done with it. It's his career. You know, it's a nuanced career where his coworkers, he don't have to work with them to work with them. He always has to be in the same industry with them. Is a tight knit community as far as comedians, and they have their own particular circuit that they have to, you know, travel and go to these same clubs and things like that. So when you steal jokes and when you have bad blood with other comedians, you're going to see them even if you don't fuck with them, right? So I just think that a lot of that was just his side of his story. So not that it was.
He came with receipts, though. He had receipts.
Yeah,
right?
receipts, but the receipts.
What were the receipts, though, Anthea?
He had receipts showing Cedric the Entertainer saying the exact same joke verbatim.
It wasn't verbatim though. It was
almost. I mean, he had a spaceship. Cedric the Entertainer had a spaceship. Cat had a car, but it's the same thing.
It wasn't verbatim, and he said.
I mean, I think it's always like music. You be like, is that song that I've heard that somebody else originally? I mean, art is always imitated.
Right, but verbatim means I said what you said word for word, right? He did not take that.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Nobody said it's plagiarism or logic.
No, but when you say verbatim, I'm under the impression that verbatim means like word for word, right?
So, Montaigne, you saw Dr. Gay got accused of plagiarizing her.
Hold on, let's stay in.
Wait, wait. I'm gonna make a point right here. Mm-hmm. She got accused of that, and plagiarizing don't necessarily have to be word for word. Every specific thing is the same.
Fair enough.
That is exactly what Cat Williams is saying here, where he said that the joke that Cedric the Entertainer said was the receipts out there. Show the receipts.
All right, so I don't mind pulling up the receipts, but the point I'm trying to get across, right? I take people for what they say, right? And no hold back said logic verbatim is what you said. Okay, well, and I just looked it up. In exactly the same words as were used originally is the definition of verbatim. Cat Williams used the word verbatim, which is why you said it. We're all taking.
No, I've seen the receipts. That's why I said verbatim.
So let's be clear. Hold on, logic. So what Cat said that it was altered. Because all he did, instead of using what it was a Cadillac, he used a spaceship.
If y'all don't mind, I would like to land this plane.
Oh my God!
Cat Williams used the word verbatim.
Okay, he used the word verbatim.
We're getting into semantics here.
We're not getting into semantics. I take people for what they say, and you asked me about what he said, right? So if y'all allow me to finish what I think about what he said,
go ahead.
Go ahead, logic.
Said. He took my joke verbatim. So I went and looked at the receipts. It was far from verbatim.
I wouldn't say far.
It was far from verbatim because he did not use none of his words. The only thing that was similar was the physical comedy of getting in the car and being black in a car. What comedian has a monopoly on what it means to be black in a car? When we all go like this in our car and smoke our cigarettes or our
I don't do that in my car. I'm sorry.
I don't do that in my car either.
But he's talking about the hood blacks, all right, the ghetto blacks or whatever you want to call it, right?
I think it's so. Can we say conceptually he felt like he stole the joke?
We can
I
say
that verbatim, but the concept of the joke is similar.
We can say that, but what I'm saying is when I'm responding to what Cat said. I'm not taking his narrative and defending it because I like the narrative. And it goes to my original point. He's saying his side of the story.
Right.
You understand? If I fall out with somebody, I'm going to tell you one side. Exactly. They're going to tell you another side, and then in the middle somewhere. More times is the exact facts of what happened, right?
No, so the lawyer on the board right down there, Taraji's lawyer, do you have anything to say about this whole verbatim plagiarism with Cat Williams and Cedric the Entertainer stealing the jokes?
Look, I think there's so many comedians out there that you can set, right? It's not just the words that can be verbatim, it can be the style of your comedy. So I think if the idea of the joke is similar enough for there to be that, you could say, yeah, he took that verbatim. But if it, right, so the wording is one lens. I'm not disagreeing with you, my brother.
Right.
I'm just saying that he might have been verbatim in delivery, it could be verbatim in construction,
Right.
or even in the thesis of the joke, right? So when you listen to Dave Chappelle, some of them rhyme with other comedians, but the way he delivers is why he's Chappelle. He's a genius, right? So I agree. So, but also what I will add to that to make your point, when the receipts were checked on the show, he said a whole bunch of stuff that he was moving so fast that he said the wrong thing, right? So I watched it. He said the wrong thing. He quoted different numbers. He even got the years wrong a couple of times. Oh, and it was in 2001. And the guy's like, 2001? What are you talking about? Right? So that's what I am saying. And back to my earlier point, in 2008, Homeboy was locked up in a medical facility with bipolar. So everything that you saw there is someone that is maniacal, right? And when they're in that phase, the truth is the first victim of a good story.
Yeah.
Right. And they connect things that ain't connectable, or they connect things in a way that we can't connect.
Yeah, and I gotta piggyback off of that. So, I hear y'all on the semantics. You can argue if he was talking about the physicality of the joke or the actual words. Verbatim leans more towards words, right? It says literally, line for line, to the letter, word for word. That's literally what says similar when you look up verbatim, right? But however, to your point, right? Lies are all, most times, or not, if not all the time, based on a truth. So just because I can take something he said and show it to you doesn't mean everything he said around that is true.
It's the truth, right? I agree.
Well, I don't think anybody. I think it is his perception. I think what it was so shocking, honestly, is that he went in on everybody. Like there was no. I don't think we've ever seen it. Most people they draw back and they don't want to say about, especially other Black people in Hollywood. He was like, F it. I'm going there. I'm telling on Cedric. I'm telling on Steve. He was just like,
well, the high top was definitely a man.
We all knew about the high top, but I think even talking about his build of success, I think it was just. I don't think we've seen anybody just that raw about their peers. Like we know, like people have beefs, like you have rap battles, but in an interview, you gonna just let it all out? I think Shannon was just completely caught off guard.
He was shocked. Yeah.
You know what too was very, very shocking is he kept calling back to the fact that 7 or 8 people have those weird face, light skin, no interview wives. Like, whoa, yo, he went on them people's wives, talking crazy about them. Like, this is why Cat probably always runs around with guns, because he's just unfiltered like that.
Yeah, well, I'll put a bow on my stance on that before y'all move on. I think that he spoke his truth, like I already said, and I think some of the things he said were not factual. He just married it with other things that were factual, and a lot of it was his take on it. And like a lot of celebrities do when they have poor mental health, they regurgitate the conspiracy theories that the people are already saying, and then they say it themselves as an authority on the conspiracy theory that the people have already been saying. And then the people say, see, I knew it was true.
But wait, as Natalie was alluding to earlier, your perception is your truth. So that's how he perceived all of these things in his mind, and that's his truth. So we can't argue that he's lying or whatever. That's what he knows.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you how we can. Because if my perception is that Sunshine is only successful in her career because she slept her way to the top, and I don't know that, my perception is not the truth because I'm talking about you. So when
It's your truth, though. It's
no,
your
it's
truth.
not my truth. It's my bullshit. So if he says Kevin Hart is an industry plant because he had most of his career done in New York, so how the hell did he get a movie in LA? Like the majority of the entertainment industry ain't bi-coastal. What are you talking about? Like some of the shit he was saying, it just makes sense to people that want the shit to be true. That's
Right.
Well, yeah.
I
Well,
agree with
all right, so let me add to that. I agree with you, and I'm immediately reacting to the perception of your truth. Right? There can only be one truth. There's only perceptions, and I think sometimes people don't understand the grind. Everything I've seen of Kevin Hart is this dude is a hands down, knuckle to the ground, hard working person. He makes his own opportunities. So I think if Kat is spending, time off the scene, doing different thing, he ain't working as hard as Kevin Hart. And if Kevin Hart is in New York and he's able to scale his impact or he's able to scale his connections, I'm just saying, that might be why he's successful.
So let me say this. I'm not going to say he's not working as hard as Kevin Hart. I think his approach to the business is very different, which has whatever he feels like he believes he hasn't sold out, and that's his belief, then you got to respect that too. Like, I'm not saying whatever he believes about Kevin Hart. I do believe, like, in Hollywood, they do pick the people they want to be it because they're compliant and whatever. I don't necessarily disagree with that because I feel like there are chosen few, but I can't sit up here and say that he doesn't work as hard as Kevin Hart. He may not work as smart and he may not be as compliant as other people.
There's different lenses to working hard, Natalie. There's different lenses to working hard. Right?
There are different lenses. I think Kevin Hart works smart and he knows how to move the needle to get what he wants.
Yeah.
I think
that's what.
Right.
That's what.
Before we go down that rabbit hole, I think it's safe to at least narrate the where we going with it. I don't think he was saying that, and I don't think anyone was saying that Kat doesn't work as hard as Kevin. I think we were questioning his take, or as you were saying, his truth on why Kevin Hart is so successful. Right? He can't take from Kevin Hart. He tried to insinuate that Kevin Hart was just somebody that some white man found somewhere and would say, you know what? It's you. I'm going to pick you, and you're going to be
You got that from Cat Williams' interview? I don't think he was
called him an industry plant. That's what he called him, an industry plant, meaning he did not deserve his rank in comedy. He was positioned there as a plant to do what the industry wants them to do. That's what an industry plant is. He said, and I might be paraphrasing, but I believe I'm verbatim, I don't think people know what these words mean. Industry plant. So he was going hard at trying to say he don't deserve where he's at. He was put there, and that's bullshit. Kevin Hart worked very hard to get where he is. And to Natalie's point, all of you niggas is picked. Once you're on the big screen in Hollywood, all of you niggas was picked by somebody to say, we're going to let you champion comedy right now. All of y'all niggas, including Kat. So why wasn't he telling on himself? That's a sign of somebody that's telling the most truth when they tell on themselves too.
Can I suggest something? This is the most I've ever talked about 2 5'1" motherfuckers fighting each other. So
I cannot.
But do you see that Kevin Hart's ex-wife is going on tour with Cat Williams?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's some messy shit.
It's very messy.
It's messy, and salute to him for pulling it off. I met Torrey Hart back in I want to say 2017 at the Hollywood Black Film Festival. I was doing press that particular year. Even though I'm a 2-time alumni of that festival, she was showing her film, and she was very polite. I interviewed her. She was real cool. However, I do and did and always thought it was funny that she didn't drop his last name. And as far as her as a comedian, Kat said he puts on only comedians that are funnier than me. And that's the same word she used on her Instagram to promote her going on tour. She's nowhere near as funny as Cat Williams.
How do we know that?
How do we know that? Have you seen her?
I'll put her stand up right now on YouTube.
Don't.
No, but what I'm saying is she may not be as big as Cat Williams. She may not have the opportunities as him, but that doesn't necessarily. I mean, it's perspectives again.
Right.
I may think she's funnier.
Let me say this. I don't necessarily. Kevin Hart has moments, but I don't think his stand up is amazing. But I can appreciate him as an actor. But I can't. But so I think the thing is like who's funny and who's not is so subjective. Like it's like whatever. So because I think there's a lot of comedians who have never been. They're not even remotely discovered. She hasn't been planted. She ain't funny. My brother, you know what, Matthew? Yes, but. Anyway, so we're the one thing that Kat said that stuck with me was what he's, and this is we're gonna wrap this up, but what he said about Jonathan Majors. When he said, I think he said something like,
Since when do we find people with African features good looking?
Attractive?
So Africa for Africans says, why the hate on Kat, right? Africa for Africans. We were just defending another black man named Kevin Hart. We were being objective. We were being objective about what he said. And if you didn't hear, he just also shitted on African features. So what do you have to say about Kat shitting on African features with a name Africa for Africans?
Wait.
Grandson.
So to be fair, though, he said, since when we find that, because they were pushing it. He didn't say that he found them ugly. I don't think that's what he meant.
He did say that. He's like, I
don't think that's what he meant. I think what he was saying is that typically people with African features are not presented as good-looking people. And what I understood him to mean is that since when these people are pushing people that have all these African features saying he's good looking, when he knows that necessarily.
He said, when did black people find people with African features beautiful?
Well, here's the thing. And the reason why he said that is because we know culturally, if you look like an African in America, you get called all kind of names. Like typically, like I'm in Virginia right now, right? And I noticed that a lot of the women here are looking for a light-skinned man they can have kids with the good hair and the light eyes and stuff like that. Like I think that's what he was saying. He was like, since when did we love it so much that this guy? And it's true. Here's the other thing. Jonathan Majors. We didn't know about who Jonathan Majors was.
Jonathan Majors soon, but go ahead.
We didn't know who Jonathan Majors
was. All right. But let me cut you all off. Speaking on behalf of my African brothers and sisters, okay, all I have to say is Idris Elba. That's it.
Okay, cool.
It has always been top that the African features were wanted. It's just
but Idris Elba has a different type of African feature. He don't have the broad, flat ass nose like Jonathan Major. These big ass, soup coolers and stuff like that. Here's the other thing. I wouldn't have never in 1,000 years, you couldn't probably pay me enough money. I say probably pay me enough money to play somebody called Kang the Conqueror. I don't care, fam. I feel like that was a joke on this man. Who the hell is Kang?
Who is Kang? Who's that? No, I don't know.
That's my point. He made a whole movie. He was a whole Marvel hero. Nobody's seen this movie, fam.
Oh, you're talking about Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, has anybody seen Kang the Conqueror?
Is it? No,
I've never heard of it.
K-A-N-G. It's like that's what the white people say when they're trying to make fun of black people. Y'all was Kangs, and then he went and became Kang the Conqueror.
All right. But Schoolboy, what was his point for bringing up the features then?
What is the point of exactly?
The point was he felt like Jonathan Majors was a plant That's what he's saying. He's like, they promoted him so hard that y'all started to believe that he was the most handsome man in America. And I think we can all agree that, Jonathan Majors is a
marketed him well. They marketed him well.
yeah.
Okay, but all right. I feel I have to intervene. Number one, I don't know what you all mean by these African features, right?
You know
And
what
as the
we
only
mean by these
as
African.
the only true African on this panel, I feel like I have to be like, what you're talking about? What you're talking about? What is the African features?
All right,
Right?
the
Somalian don't look like the Nigerian. The South African don't look like the Guinean. So what are you talking about? African features? He said some stuff.
West African features. They're not highly prized in America. You know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
According to the mainstream is my point. I'm not saying for me. I'm not saying for me or none of my people, none of my family.
Cat can't be talking. I know many West Africans that are doing very well with the finest looking American sisters. So I'm just being honest with you.
I think what he was talking about and what Schoolboy was talking about and what is being talked about is, when did Hollywood decide to promote that as beauty in America? Because the beauty standard is very Eurocentric here in India, in Africa, and the very other places.
Across the world.
But Sidney Poitier? Would you say he was classically beautiful?
Sir, we're not talking about our judgments on anybody. We're talking about what America promotes as beauty.
I'm saying, compare the two, Sidney Poitier and Jonathan Majors. What are we talking about?
Once again,
there's no difference there.
Once again, sir, we're talking about what America pushes as beauty standards, not what we feel is right. Hold on. Yeah. We're talking about what they promote: skinny white women and men and white guys that look a certain way. And when he brung that up for whatever reason that was, and he just said it, he said it was to say he's a plant, right? And I'd rather talk about why he brought that up. And we're not talking about our judgments on people here on this panel, right?
No, I'm hearing you. What I'm saying is, number one, we've agreed that he was having some kind of a psychotic issue when he made those statements. Number two, we've agreed.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
I think his judgment's off. Like, the fact pattern was there that his judgment was off. They called receipts on him. He was wrong. He said a whole bunch of crazier stuff than that. It's just that this is the first time you've heard him on a platform. So what I'm saying is, he said one thing when there's Hollywood preceding African features. I go, it's a crazy person saying some crazy ass shit. Because the fact pattern that I've seen in America is it's there.
But let me ask you one question. Wait. Hold on. Is there truth to that statement as Black people? It is. I'm sorry. It's a lot of truth to what it hurts, because I'm just like, I think it's very true. To a certain extent,
you know how we know that it's true is because if we think about it, you said Sidney Poitier, right? There's never like the only thing I think we have close to Sidney Poitier today is maybe Denzel Washington, right? But there's not a whole lot of Black actors that are getting a lot of love out here in the street in these Hollywood streets who are Black actors. It's a very small group of them who are seen as symbols, like sex symbols or anything like that, or attractive. Most Black men who are in Hollywood movies are buffoons. Their job is to be funny. It's true. They're buffoons. It's true. Who's not? You got what? Chris Rock, right? You got
you have way more actors than that. You have Jeffrey Wright, who is not a buffoon. You have
Who's Jeffrey Wright? What movie was he in?
He was just in American Fiction. He was just nominated. He is not a buffoon.
But it's just that the lighter skinned men are getting the better roles, and we get into colorism.
The Last King of Scotland. What's his name? The guy, the Last King of Scotland.
You're talking about.
We're gonna say Whitaker with that fucked up eye. He's the epitome of beauty.
He is not attractive.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, who is not necessarily the most attractive.
But he always gets some kind of role.
And he's a good ass actor, y'all. Right. Like, he's talented. Like, let's stop.
But going back to the point that you were making, Natalie, when you brought up Jonathan Majors, and I don't know if we want to move on from Cat.
We're gonna go ahead and move on. Let's move into Jonathan.
But his story, right, And that video of him, I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Jonathan Majors, but I just don't believe him. I'm sorry. I don't believe, there's no accountability in anything that he's saying, and everything that he's done, he blames somebody else.
I agree.
So I need him to take accountability, number one. Number two, I don't know what his obsession with Coretta Scott King was.
Because he thinks he's Martin Luther King. You saw I call him Jonathan MLK Majors. Like he has. I think people have this idea that they are grand. They have a sense of they're different. We love to live we're in a space of exceptionalism. Like, I am a unicorn. I am this. I am that. I need for you to be Coretta Scott King because I am on the same level as Martin Luther King. And it's really like, pump your brakes. Like, just like, seriously, pump your brakes and let's level set. You're an actor and you may have played some of these characters, but you're not that.
But do you think that that's like Black guilt, like the guilt of dating a white woman? And because I don't know what first of all, Coretta Scott King is turning over in her freaking grave, wondering why is she trending.
I think part of it is, it may be his own personal guilt. I don't know. I'm not going to speak about that, but I just feel like to have a woman who is not part of the Black experience and expecting her to be a Black woman like Michelle Obama or Coretta. Hell, I'm not like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King. What the fuck? Like, why would you demand that in your relationship? That's crazy to me.
Yo, I was cracking up when I saw that quote, fam. He looked at that white woman and said, "Why can't she be more like Michelle Obama?" And, that's hilarious, man. Like it never occurred to him that maybe I should ask this of a Black woman before I ask this white woman.
Exactly.
To be able to fulfill the requirements, but that didn't cross his mind because he's in the Hollywood bubble. He like, you know what? I'm gonna make this. Listen, in 50 years, Coretta Scott King will definitely be played by a white woman.
Can I say something? To me, he's way more unstable than Cat Williams.
And Cat Williams, yeah.
He's way more unstable than Cat Williams.
Yo, what would y'all have done if y'all seen Jonathan Majors running down the street like that and that white woman following him? First thoughts.
I would take a picture.
What the
Can I
hell?
get a selfie? Ow.
Yo, my dude had the high knee. Yo, check this move. Watch out. Yo, he pushed her ass off. Yo, that's hilarious. This dude had the high knees and everything, fam.
But the other thing,
You know what I saw? Do you know what I saw?
What did you see?
I saw a white woman chasing a meal ticket.
Damn, for real.
That's what I saw. Like, he is pushing and she's keeping up. So that means either he took her phone or that's her meal ticket. Look, that car's about to hit her. Look. Oh.
Yo, I think that's the only thing that could have made this video a lot better. If she would have got hit by that car, fam, I would have lost it. I'm not even gonna lie.
but think about this though. If, let's say, she asked Jonathan Majors, can he be more like, I don't know,
Tom Brady.
Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or whatever, we would have been over here talking about, racism and all that stuff. He should leave her because she blah, blah, blah. I just think that part of it alone should tell somebody this man is unstable. And he did talk about that he had some mental issues and he had to go to therapy for that. So I understand that part of it. But he's also a little bit narcissistic, I think, based on the recordings.
Sunshine. What gave that away? The fact that he's an actor? Or No, okay, so here's what I was thinking. I think, I don't want to be the guy that talks about,
I'm looking at you,
the
Mark.
worst, possibly the worst time of this gentleman's life, right? But what I see from this is a cathartic moment for him to revisit decisions made, right? The kind of woman that's going to chase you like that probably ain't one you should have been with. When he spoke about her, he spoke about problems in the relationship. He talked about being insecure, about getting out of it, right? So maybe this is that moment for him that will be cathartic for him to be like, and you know what? Transform my life, right? Quit the drinking and the drugs, quit the whatever, and get myself, Sunshine's phone number and see where that goes. But God, Natalie, you were gonna say something. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I said the funny part is when I think about it, I was just like, what did he get convicted of? Really? For breaking her heart?
Third-degree assault.
But I'm like, so what is that? What is
He goes to jail for that.
what was the conviction about? Because to me, it sounds like it was a bad breakup, and you a black man who broke a white woman's heart. That's the narrative. And
So
you go get the finest sister in Hollywood on your arm.
But he said
Natalie,
she does act like Coretta Scott King.
I think Jonathan Majors didn't have enough money, right? He should have made a deal in the background because you need a willing witness to prosecute him to get through this. I think if she was uncooperative, if he had made a deal in the background, things would have been in a better place. I think he probably didn't see what they have or how the public would react because he felt the conviction that he didn't do anything wrong.
He got convicted of misdemeanor assault and harassment.
In the third degree. That's a strongly worded email.
And that is, you go to jail for that?
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a bad breakup. It sounds like
they said that he's gonna go to jail for that.
Nah, he's not going to jail.
He's gonna do community service, girl. He ain't going to jail.
She also got convicted, but no jail time, no nothing.
Right.
Not to bring it back to Cat, but him bringing up Jonathan Majors and his quote unquote African features or West African features or whatever we want to call it on this panel. He said that to say he was a plant. Now, if he was a plant, he wouldn't be in this situation. If he was a quote unquote plant.
But you know what? But I can't agree with that. Only to say that I understand that when white people have tools, they always break their tools when they're finished with them. It's like every time.
He was far from done. He made this mistake on his own. I agree with Ayana. He was high. He was probably getting high with that girl. That was probably the shit they get into. They have stupid ass fights like the one we saw where you run down the block a mile away from her and all this crazy shit, right? So that wasn't the industry like, you know what, we're done with him, set him up, get rid of him. It was like, nah, he made a mistake. Maybe being a narcissist is why he kept her around, right? He's insecure, but he's a narcissist. She chasing him. She acts like she can't live without him. He's into that type of toxic shit. Either way, they was definitely getting high with each other. Well, that's what I feel. Allegedly, right? They definitely remind me of like a drug addict relationship. And I believe if he was an industry plant, they would have got him clearly out of this. Like, he wouldn't have no bad press. It would be something that people talked about for a quick minute, and it would have been over with. The case, he wouldn't even got this verdict. That's not what they do to plants.
And I'm surprised also that he didn't get more support, like legal support from like a good lawyer or something like that. It just seems like he kind of just it just seems like he was just out there and they just left him for dead. Like, I didn't see too much support from his colleagues, his friends, or any legal professional that is, helpful in these types of situations.
Well, I'll tie it back to something that was
OJ Simpson had more support.
But I think it's also the time that we're in. We're still in a very Me Too era. You can't put your hands on women. If you bruise women, you're going down. Hollywood is a little different. So I think the thing is where we are at this point in time still with talking about mistreatment of women. And you got it on video.
It depends on how you get bruised, but
okay, yeah. But But on that part, he wasn't good. No, nobody's getting. Look, men, y'all, you got to be squeaky clean at this point.
Natalie, there's still men who get away with a lot of shit in their past, and Hollywood still support them.
Right.
No, we're gonna say
I.e. Charlemagne.
But what I'm trying to say is,
I.e. Charlemagne the God, who got a whole rape accusation from his past that went to court and everything, and this woman been doing interviews for the past 5 years, and Charlemagne is still big as he ever been. Yeah. Still, you understand what I'm saying? But this girl is saying I had sex with his friends and them, and I didn't agree to it. I was underage. He and when he went to court for it back in those days when he was of age, he pled out to getting a minor drunk, but not the rape part, right? So that's how he got out of it. But it's still.
Can we stick allegedly on that?
Like I said,
no, that's what happened. That's what happened.
Right, but Montaigne, like I said, first of all, there's no video of him running down the street, raping her or doing whatever. There's no evidence. You can't have evidence as a black man and a white one, and you see some kind of assault going. You can't do it. I just don't think.
OJ killed
white women's tears, exactly, Miss Betty. White women's tears are worth a million, the gazillion. Look, it's gonna happen. It was gonna be that simple. He was
the other thing.
All right, so let's talk about a few things we don't know, right? We don't know whether Jonathan Majors listened to the legal advice and whether people offered help, but his narcissism was so high, right? For you to show up and be doing an interview this close to that thing, that means you didn't listen to that friend that said, here's a ticket, go sit in New Zealand for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, right? Reverend Run's brother did that. You ever seen him in anything? He had accusations.
You talking about Russell?
Uncle Russell. He had some accusations, got out of the country, gone.
Yoga retreat.
So I'm just saying that there's a playbook out there, but you have to be willing to take that advice, and you got to pay for that advice. He probably thought he was right. Everything I saw was a man that.
He does not have Russell money. He can't afford to just leave the country as of yet.
None of us got Russell money, but we could go to New Zealand for 2 months.
But you got to come back. Russell don't have to come back.
Yeah, what's gonna tell us if he's a plan or not? How fast and how high he rises when he gets back.
Exactly.
Let's see what the next movie he's in.
But the other thing too, there's a lot of people that are really scared to trust what people are saying, especially after things like Jussie Smollett and how that turned out. Everybody was literally on, trying to support, and then turns out it was a big fat lie. So a fat phase on lie. So I think also I understand people probably were a little bit hesitant to show support because of the type of situation that he was in, and we don't know how true it is or not.
So when you say the tape, Natalie, you're talking about the tape we just saw with him running from her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the victim in that tape.
But there's still something going on in the beginning before he started running.
Yeah, we could look at it again.
All I'm saying is black men don't need to be on tape with white women in conflict. How about that?
That part.
Yeah.
And
I don't care whether he was the victim. Y'all are never, first of all, y'all in America, you're never the victim. Y'all know that.
And number two, Natalie, never call 911 with a white woman standing next to you.
Exactly.
I don't care what it is.
Y'all know better.
I don't know. You said we in a different time. We are in a different time.
No, but not for y'all. Not for men. Especially
I'm telling you, you know what? I've been accused of domestic violence a lot. I had my kid's mom. Long story, I'll give you the long story short. Long story short, my kid's mom, she liked to try to start shit with me, and then when I hold her arms like, leave me the hell alone. She's like, I hope you bruise me, Negro, because as soon as the cops get, I'm gonna act like da. But whenever the cops would come, I know how to deal with the cops because of this experience. Whenever the cops come, I calm my dumb ass down, because I made that mistake before, being hyped when the cops show up. That's not the move. I calm myself down. I put the white voice on. Oh yeah, how's it going, sir? Well, I was just walking down the street and this crazy woman harassed me. Do that kind of thing. And they'd be like, "Sir, have a nice day." Every single time. I don't have no problem with the police like that.
So
The
two
issue-
things. So two
Go ahead.
things. But two things for you, schoolboy.
Mhm.
Your the mother of your children are a Black woman, right?
Yes. Yeah.
See, it's a difference.
True,
I'm
true.
sorry. It is. It's a difference. A little bit. It is.
Yeah. I don't let white women get that close to me. You know.
Exactly. As Cat Williams said, and he said it, I'm scared of white women.
Yeah, man, because they on that wild stuff. They on that
Oh
wild
wait, so are you saying that Cat Williams? That was a Cat Williams joke. He said. He said,
He said, I don't fuck with white women because I know what happened.
Oh, that was in the interview. That wasn't a joke.
That wasn't in the interview.
That was in the-
It was an
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
said that's the one. He's not afraid of nothing but white women. That's what he said.
I was gonna say he stole that joke from Patrice O'Neal since you can't even hint at the same
Well,
shit.
you know what? I'll say this. That a joke can be inspired by another comedian's joke. Because I started to I keep hearing this joke about the cars, this, that, and the third. And I had a look. I do a stand up here in the city, and I was talking about how the reason why my car is a mess all the time whenever you get in my car is because I'm too broke to clean my car out when I gas up. You know what I mean? Like that's inspired by these other jokes that I've heard about people saying, well, you know, gas is too high. It's a gas too high joke. Like, how many different ways can you make jokes about gas being high?
Right.
You know what I
And-
mean? Like,
I didn't say this earlier, but one I think it was my homegirl from No Holdbacks TV mentioned nobody is suing him for defamation. Not to go back to Cat, but I just want to throw it out there. Defamation is when somebody tarnishes your name so bad that you lose business for it. That's why you can sue for it. So if somebody's just telling something on you that you don't agree, that's not defamation. But
Right.
if you lose all types of business, which Cat is gaining business and Kevin Hart is gaining business because he's on tour at the same time. Kevin Hart is on tour right now as well. So
Yes.
people are fickle. They're not going to, I'm never going to see a Kevin Hart show. No, they're going to see Kevin.
Actually, it probably gave them all of them more press.
I was about to say that. I think the masterful thing about that whole situation is that Cat is. If we look at comedy sales last January versus comedy sales this January, I guarantee you, in the Chitlin circuit, they're higher by many percentage points from last
Right.
year.
The only person that had no business responding to anything that Cat Williams said was Tiffany Haddish. I don't think she's even funny at all.
You think she's an
so-
industry plant? You think she's an industry plant?
No.
So talking about industry plants and industry people getting paid, we have Taraji's lawyer on.
Let's go.
Come on.
He did a terrible job.
You did a
Taraji.
terrible job to
With that
Esquire
contract.
and
They had
negotiating.
roaches and stuff in their trailers and everything, bro. What's up?
She didn't listen to my advice. I said to her
You
right
have
from the start,
Vivica
I
Fox
said,
saying, I did. She's like, I don't have that issue.
Allegedly.
Vivica Fox.
Nah, of course Vivica don't got that issue. She's not working the same way Taraji's working.
But let me say this. Monique said the same thing, and we damned her for it.
Yes.
So why now? No,
Natalie,
huh?
Monique told us to boycott Netflix. Seriously, she didn't tell us about the disparity.
No, she was talking about.
I know she was.
Yo,
Yes, she wanted to.
The difference is Monique is a fat black woman with African features.
There you go. And there you have it. So there you have
The
it.
point right there. And she was talking about her white counterparts and the comedy specials that they were getting paid for, how much they were getting paid exactly. And I agree. I'm not saying I disagree with Monique, but at some point, how do you not know your worth? Where Taraji is in the same movie as Brad Pitt in Benjamin Button. He gets paid $15 million,
Yeah.
and
and she negotiated $150,000.
That's all her, fam.
500. They offered her 75,000.
But I
They
mean,
all-
Taraji's star wasn't that big when she was in that movie, man.
She was able to get 150 for it.
Wait, she wasn't that big in what, Schoolboy?
And when she did Benjamin Button, like you put Taraji's probably never been in another movie with Brad Pitt. Like they're not in the same. Like nobody necessarily was going to see Benjamin Button to see Taraji, fam. She was a
Right.
co-star.
Thank you.
Also,
you.
I don't know that she's ever been like in a starring role and sold out theaters. Has she?
Right. No,
Look,
she don't deserve that money.
I'm gonna just put it out there, right? Taraji P is not getting better looking. She's not getting more in demand. She's not selling out box offices. She's not making blockbuster movies. Most of the people she's comparing herself to are compounding, right? They're getting better. They're getting more eyes. They're getting more box office hits. Taraji's like, she's, you know, 9-to-5er. She's an actress.
Famous. But I'm sorry.
She's paid for what she brings in. She's like a journey person, and that's okay.
She's not Angela
Why is
Bassett.
she?
Well,
Why am over here?
she was the lead in Hidden Figures. She was.
Who's that?
Who
cares?
We need to. I don't agree with that. Look, people in Hollywood.
Natalie, if you
no,
ain't making me money, we ain't paying you more money. That's how it works, right? She's got to be banking them money.
So, Marcel, let me say
on-
this: as a person who I've acted, I think the one thing that I've learned in the industry is once you start getting nominated for Oscars, which she has been nominated for an Oscar, she got nominated for Hidden Figures, and she got nominated for Benjamin. I think she got nominated for the movie.
She got nominated for that rap thing. That what do you call it?
Hustle and Flow. Hustle and Flow. Your value technically should go up. She should at least be making at least $1 million a movie. Like that's not even a lot of money in Hollywood for somebody people know who Taraji P. Henson is.
We do.
No, but even white folks know who Taraji P. Henson is.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
But Natalie, I can't. I don't know that if Taraji, maybe if she was in American Fiction, it might have been a little bigger.
They're not getting paid either. The only person that got paid for that movie is probably Jeffrey Wright.
Which he deserved.
Right, and they probably didn't have a budget to get it made like that. He's probably getting paid on the back end based on the sales. Like, I think
So, all right, so I've just been Googling around, right? Because you can find out how actors are performing at the box office. There are no stats for Taraji.
She's not.
Right? They're not. That means they're not attributing to her star power a certain amount of income as a business. So how are you going to compare yourself to Brad Pitt? He asked for $20 million a movie.
I'm not even talking about Brad Pitt. I'm not. Let's say, but even the same thing with Terrence Howard only got $5,000 for Hustle and Flow.
He's crazy. Nobody wants to work with him. He got fired from Iron Man. Right? Do you know how lack of humility you have to get fired from Iron Man 1? People don't want to work with you. They're not going to pay you. Like, let's be honest.
I don't know if he's crazy, Marcel. I'm not going to sit up here and say that. But I think
he's crazy. Confirmed. He said it himself.
Marcel, check the private chat. But you said he was crazy in regards to how much he got paid for Hustle and Flow. He worked on Hustle and Flow. He didn't get fired from it, so he should have got paid more. Black actors don't get as many opportunities as their white counterparts, and they don't get paid enough. And
so let me add to that then. They replaced him with an African features looking brother who stayed in every single movie and is a bankable Hollywood actor. So it's not about anything other than no one wants to work with you.
I can't.
Right? Terrence Howard was fighting people on set physically. That's a workplace. Like, do we want to remove that from the dialogue?
Marcel, where did you get that information that he was fighting on set? I think he was more so fighting, and I think this is the whole look. The actors just had a strike about pay. I mean, come on now, like, look, more and more people are making more and more money, and my thing is, it's just like Hollywood has so much freaking money. You can't pay somebody like Taraji P. Henson, who has actually led a show. Come on. Yeah, I mean.
So on American Fiction, Do you know who got the second billing and
Tracy
died?
Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross, and died in the first 10 minutes or whatever.
Right.
What I'm saying is,
The Eurocentric looking black woman.
but is it because of her looks, or is it because she have like a better team supporting her?
It's both. I don't think you can't separate the two. I think, first of all, it is about the team. You got to have a good team. And
I think Taraji have her cousin Nene and them probably as her lawyer, because they are not doing anything for her.
Taraji is over.
Then another thing is this: like you also have to realize like I'm not trying to be, I'm kind of trying to be funny here, but the fact of the matter is like Taraji is like a Chitlin Circuit actor, so she's gonna get that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she's not producing the shows that she's on. She's just an actress. It's not like she doesn't have the same kind of money that Tyler Perry has from getting on that same circuit. She don't have the same kind of money that Cat Williams has on that same exact circuit.
Everybody found their niche, and unfortunately, Taraji has not found hers.
Well, she has found her niche. Her niche was being Cookie on Empire. That was like the most notable thing that people know her for. And unfortunately, I don't think that there's a lot of value in that role. And being typecast as Cookie, what does that lead into? The spinoff?
Yeah, her niche doesn't pay that well.
Who is asking for Precious?
Yo, she got married to a sound technician on the sound technician on the movie.
Let me add the other thing that
lost like 100 pounds and she's still fat, fam.
I disagree. I believe.
So let me add the one thing that I was going to say that I didn't say before. Right? Most of the actors, when they get to a certain point, they start becoming executive producers. So you use your early money to start funding movies. I just Googled again. I don't see her with exec producer credits on anything big.
Because she doesn't have any money to be an executive producer.
I'm sorry. Then don't be comparing yourself with people that are doing that. Right? I'm just being honest. Like, why are we on the outside looking at two people and we don't know how they move, we don't know their level of education, we don't know what their investment culture is, and we go, because I have a perception that Taraji is worth something, the people that actually have money that are like, I'm going to put my money at risk, and I go, I'm going to give it to the one person I know ain't bankable. That's like stupid financial prudence. I wouldn't put my money on Taraji.
I don't think it's that
I wouldn't, and I ain't got no money.
I don't think it's putting their money at risk if they would have gave her a fair deal, meaning if we make over a certain amount of money, we can give you more on the back end, which is very common.
Paid.
So somebody said, "What is wrong?" This is a great question. What is the wrong for her to demand better pay?
Nothing.
This is how she demanded.
You know what? Right here, right now, I'm going to say on this podcast, I demand you all give me $500,000 to be in here.
Oh, I'm going on strike.
Somebody said Taraji ain't Viola, Octavia, or Regina.
There you go. Viola, Octavia, Regina, all of them are making money for when they are in a movie. Especially Viola.
She was making like hundreds of thousands an episode on Empire, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was 200. Was it 250?
Come on, fam. How many episodes of Empire? Come on now. She made millions of dollars during that. She just mismanaged that money. She should have been investing it. You know, it's a moot point. Somebody said, do we hate black women? Like, it's not for us to hate black women, to be objectively speaking about them, because I'm also not expecting Jonathan Majors to be expecting to make as much money as Brad Pitt. Because again, he's not like, we know the most notable thing that I think that I can say, and I'm not a super big media person, but the most notable thing I've heard about Jonathan Majors over the last 10 years, I think he might have been in Creed or something like that.
He was in Creed, but he was also in Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
So let me say this. I think Jonathan Majors has acting. He has chops. He has acting chops. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Okay.
He was good in
Lovecraft Country was good.
He's a good ass actor. Let me say this. Brad Pitt ain't a great actor.
True.
He's just a star. First of all, actors are marketable. They have to look good.
Well, hold on. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that movie 12 Monkeys, Fight Club. Like the guy's a pretty good actor.
Decent. He's good, but is he great? No,
He pretty much plays the same
Yes.
character in every movie.
he's not.
Yes,
Y'all, come on. I love
Natalie.
I would
He knows his lane and he stays in it.
but
He ain't over here trying to do Johnny Depp work.
But his lane pays more because he's a white boy versus Taraji playing a quote unquote ghetto black sister and as her niche. But I'll say this though, black actors in general,
They
and-
need to
and
get
behind the
paid
scenes,
more.
they need to get paid more. They're
I
not
don't
paid
care.
enough.
They just thought about this shit on a strike.
And guess what? We more times help those companies in their dark hours because really our audiences is the ones that come out and show out. And white people like what we like too, but we really make shit pop. You know what I'm saying? So what was it? Marvel was on their last leg. Speaking of movies, before they let Wesley Snipes do Blade, and then they went ahead and said, correct me if I'm wrong, Schoolboy, is Marvel Blade or DC Blade? I forget.
I don't know, to be honest.
I think it was Marvel. I'm pretty sure it's Marvel. I'm gonna Google it real quick. But at the time when he made Blade, they wasn't shit that they are like the way they are now, right? So they use us as catalysts, and then they forget about us. So they'll use us
to get us to the movie theater.
Facts.
Because we're going to be the ones that spend the money at the movie theater and the popcorn and so on and so forth to see that particular person in that movie.
What movie had the fanfare in the recent times? I'm talking about in the past month that Color Purple had. I went to see Color Purple in Baltimore after it came out. Not even the first week or two. I mean, not even the first week or whatever. I went to see it. I barely could get seats. And this is not even the premiere weekend on the weekend, none of that. It was during the day. It was after work hours. It was a weekday, all of that.
It was the number one movie during the holiday.
Thank you,
We saw Color Purple?
Yes.
Color Purple was the number one movie during the holiday season.
On Christmas Day,
Let me say something about the Color Purple real quick. Don't nobody want to see this movie's 40 years old. The book's probably like 50. Nobody cares about seeing The Color Purple as a musical.
Obviously, they did if they were the number one movie.
A lot of people are being misled, man. That's a crap.
It was drinking that Kool-Aid, but to be honest with you, I'm sorry, I'm not lining up to see no Color Purple.
But you guys, we're not. My thing is like, when you think about the masses of Black people, you got buses going to see The Color Purple. Like
buses of women. It's not a bunch of dudes going to see no Color Purple.
It don't matter. They sold the tickets. That was my point.
Right. It's about money. It's a business, y'all. Come on. It's a business. And somebody said The Color Purple was great. I didn't see it. I don't want to see it.
Anyway, let me.
We're not doing
to stop making the same kind of movies.
Wait. Can we go back to Terrence Howard for a second? While you all are blah blahing, I went back and checked why he got fired. He got fired because he thought he should have earned more money than Robert Downey Jr. Okay, in my world, that is you just self-selected to be fired because you can't agree terms. Right? If I come into my boss and I say, I want you to pay me $1 million, otherwise I'm not appearing in the movie, and they say, oh, I ain't got $1 million for you.
So wait.
I just chose.
The link that you sent us in the private chat is the same link that you got that part from?
No, I'm sending you that one now.
All right.
Oh Lord.
And who do they reference?
Covered with receipts.
Who do they reference as the? I'm looking at it now.
The source
credit is a source of him wanting to get more.
He said it. He said it himself.
Where
he said halfway down the screen. Why did he leave? And he says, and I can quote.
Oh, this is an interview with him.
Yeah, so he's like, in 2003, he acknowledged a change up during a guest appearance on What Happens Live. He was upset that Robert Downey Jr. got paid a lot more than he did for a movie called Iron Man, where Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You're his sidekick.
So let me say,
right?
I don't think this is the thing about Hollywood and the media. First of all, I think they twist the story to make us look unreasonable. He probably asked for more money. They didn't want to do it. And he decided, he's like, I'm not doing that. Like, I know my damn worth. And so I don't necessarily believe he asked more than Terrence then the lead. That makes no sense. And so
He
I don't
literally says, I'm the reason he got hired. Like, I think this is sometimes we don't want to have an honest conversation. The reality is, anybody that comes to you with a problem like that from a business perspective, that thinks they got a gun to your head, you got to fire them. You got to fire them publicly and get an African to replace them. That will let you know, because you got to fire them publicly. Why would I be putting? Because what am I going to do for Iron Man 3 when he comes back and says,
Also, because the African's going to take less money. But go ahead.
thank you very much. That's why I keep saying to people,
Like, he's bankable.
you over here being entitled, other motherfuckers are hungry.
Yeah.
So for you, $1 million ain't enough. For Don Cheadle, 250 is a number. Let's go.
So
And I'm a business.
in the article, it says in 2000. Sorry, Nelly. In the article, it says in 2013, Howard once again acknowledged the change up during guest appearance on Watch What Happens Live, revealing that he was pushed out due to a salary conflict. According to him, Robert Downey Jr.'s MCU salary massively increased on the heels of Iron Man's massive success, resulting in a cutback on Howard's salary, which didn't sit well with him, especially since he claimed that he pushed for Downey to get the role. So he actually got according to him, his salary decreased as his white counterpart salary increased.
right.
Let me answer that. Okay. If you were bad at your negotiating up front,
Mhm.
and the lead in the movie said, if I do number 2, my salary goes up by 200%, and your dumbass doesn't realize that there could be a 2 and I have to have that clause in my contract. I'm just saying that sometimes you can't hold someone else responsible for your bad negotiation.
And I think it's also
So I think the other thing is like, I think as Black folks, I think we're sometimes so, I don't want to say desperate to get our due that we miss out on knowing our worth.
Yeah, and I think that's true too. But I also think that there's value in mentioning that Terrence Howard was not Iron Man in the Iron Man movie. Like Taraji's lawyer said, Terrence Howard was Iron Man's sidekick. I don't know in any universe where the sidekick gets more compensation.
I don't think he was saying that though. I don't think
he said his money shrunk.
Yes.
Right.
As not that, I mean, I'm not negating what he said with Taraji's lawyer said he said, but I didn't see that part yet. I'm just looking at what I saw. He said his money shrank and his white counterpart's money went up. That's enough.
But if he knew there was 4 Iron Man movies, would he not be having a conversation that's like, oh, right? If you Google how many shows did Don Cheadle show up in the MCU universe, right? I'm just saying, why would you be so short-sighted that you're trying to fight for $40 when there's $8 billion ahead of you? That's some stupidity, and we got to talk about that. You want to talk about Taraji? It's an education problem, right? She doesn't understand business. You're valuing your worth in a way that a business-minded person doesn't. And I've just said to you, I ain't giving her $40.
So it's not up to them to negotiate their contracts in the first place. It's up to their agents in the first place.
It's you. You gotta be your own advocate.
But you have an agent and a team where you demand certain shit.
You can't overstep your agent, but you can say what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. But it's not your job to go negotiate. So when you talk about their negotiating skills, that's not what they have to have skills in. That's what they have.
But ultimately they have to agree
sit
to it.
on the set for 10 hours a day doing nothing. They can pull up a YouTube video and learn how to negotiate.
Well,
they can go to free university.
I think we can all agree that Taraji, and I think she's making the moves in that direction. She needs to probably start firing more people and bringing on.
She fired her whole team.
Here's the other thing, because you guys remember the Olsen twins, right? The Olsen twins aren't massive business-minded people. They had great lawyers.
I think that's.
Parents and business parents. It is not by happenstance that all their kids are in the movie business. Look up what their family does.
I can't tell you one movie the Olsen twins have been
exactly. but you
But
know
They
what
are
it was?
they're damn
But they
near.
have
I think
They had licensing deals. They were making clothes and makeup and all this other stuff. Like
so.
Taraji should have spun that Empire thing up, and I
I
don't know
know,
how.
like, why does she not have any clothes? I think she have like a hair product thing now, but
Yeah.
we don't like. She's not. She's oversaturated in certain types of movies, but we don't see anything else about any business that she's doing.
You know,
You know what
Taraji has
they
to
do?
say, sorry.
You know who they need to take a book out of? Lamar Jackson. Black athletes know their worth.
You know who else? Nick Cannon. That boy Nick Cannon has made
They
so many
know
millions and
their
millions
Where's
of
he
dollars.
hustling? Well, he got a hustle. He got like 19 kids.
Oh yeah,
But
he's been a great
but
businessman.
what I'm
before.
trying to say is, for whatever you want to say about Lamar Jackson, he used no agent. He used his mama, and he held out, and he's like, "This is what I want."
I mean, Michael Jordan too. I mean, ultimately, initially, the mother is the one that actually saw the future. She made that deal not just for what was happening then, but for his future
But
as well.
his wife was a lawyer. His wife was a lawyer who helped to negotiate a lot of his first contracts too.
So we're moving. We're gonna close this out with.
Okay, look, before we go, let me just close it out with one thought for you.
What's your one thought?
We all just had a conversation there, and we were all regaling in the fact that Taraji fired her team. Has it occurred to you that all the people she fired were black people?
I did not know that.
And did it occur to you that she should have done that 20 years ago and her life would be in a very different place today?
I agree with
So
that.
before we start thinking about it, she should learn from that mistake and just go, well, why didn't you fire them before? And I heard our moderator here, our producer here, say something that irked me a little bit. He said it's not her job. It is her job. Those people
Your job
work
to manage
for
it.
you.
Yes, I agree.
They
with
work for you. And if you're not getting the outcomes you want, you should have fired them in 1996.
I agree
Anyway,
that they work for you, but that means they work for you because it's not your job. It's not your job. Your job is to be the best actor you can be, and they've excelled at their skills. Terrence Howard, Taraji, all these people we're talking about. None of these people are trash and ended up where they were by just being trash actors. They have people that like to watch them on screen. They do their job. They do it well. They come show up. Whether dudes have fights on the job behind the scenes that we don't know about, I mean, that's very possible. But at the same time, their job is to act. Is the agent's job.
No. And that's what me and Natalie just talked about in relation to Kevin Hart. If you think your only job is to be talent, they'll pay you like talent.
Mhm.
If you walk in there and say, I am a complete entertainer,
you're the you got to sell yourself as a product. If you are not the
everything.
product and they don't understand the value, I mean, look, let's be real. The ultimate person who knows her product and who got the team, and thank God she don't negotiate thing, is Beyonce. So for whatever it is, and they understand the power of being a product. I think Black Hollywood is starting to understand it now. But I think before it was just like, I am talent. I want to demand this, such and such. Will and Jada have done that. Will has done that. I'm going to give
Plenty of people have done it, Natalie.
Plenty of people have done it. But I think the other thing, I think that you have to understand, are you talent? Are you a product?
Are you talent or are you talent and business? And business is where the product part come in, and everybody is not a business person. And that's why
hire a team, Montaigne.
And that's why us as business people always have a problem finding partners, because when you find the people that you feel have the talent that you need and you don't want to use them, you try to partner with them. And what most times happen with them, they're not business people and they shy away from the business part and they don't want to partner. It's perfectly fine to know your strengths and weaknesses and say, I'm not a business person. I'm going to hire one. And we're not going to act like it's not a systemic problem for Black people not getting paid what they work.
So let me give you a different mental model on that. You can say, I'm not a business person and I'm going to hire one, but only if the cost of hiring that person is less than you doing it yourself or more than you doing it yourself. There is nothing stopping any of these people being business people. Nothing. And I think we need to push back on that perception that, oh, I have a talent and I'm going to stay in this lane while someone is taking all
Everybody
my
can.
money. How many people got to get robbed before we go?
Everybody can.
Education on.
Maybe they should be represented by Jay-Z's management team.
I think you have to understand. I think part of the thing of being your celebrity is understanding how to diversify your brand. And if you don't know how to do that, you hire people that can. So whatever Taraji was doing, whether she was taking care of her family, whatever, I'm not going to knock her for her celebrity. I know y'all say she's a chitlin.
I didn't say that. That's just,
I don't necessarily.
I didn't say that.
Y'all did say that, but it's okay.
I said it.
I thought you said that shit, but it's okay. Yes, you did. Don't be trying to act innocent now. But anyway,
I don't even know what a chitlin is. So.
You do know what a chitlin is.
Don't make me play the warning. The opinions expressed are of those of the presenter. Schoolboy said that. Yeah.
But I do believe, and we're gonna wrap this up. I do believe the thing is, and I think as Black people across the board, whether you are a business, whatever it is, brand and understanding what your brand is and how to diversify it is key. I think it's key to definitely building and having your money work. She should be at a point where her money is working for her.
And one person that I would bring up, I know you guys are not fans of her, but she realized early that acting may not take her into making her millions. And so she started diversifying. That's Gabrielle Union.
She married a retired basketball player, fam. She's not.
Outside of that, she still is hustling. I applaud her for that because she understands acting ain't gonna do it alone. She got to do other things.
Yeah, for sure. And while we at it, while we applauding people, I do want to, and talking about Color Purple, I want to shout out Blitz the Ambassador. That was his rap name when he was running around Brooklyn. My African brother, who's a hip hop artist who became the director of the new Color Purple. That's him in the suit right there.
That's dope. Congratulations.
Yes. Salute to my guy Blitz, man. You know what I mean? He's still on my Facebook friends list. We're gonna see if we can honor him this year at Queens World Film Festival or something. But he used to be an artist. Blitz the Ambassador. Look him up, y'all. You know, and he landed on his feet as a director in film.
All right. Bravo. Okay, so the final thing, Miss Claudine Gay, Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard. Here we go. And go.
Wait, I'm sorry, Natalie. Say that one more time. My bad.
Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard. She just she resigned for plagiarism.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people say it was her testimony in Congress.
She was a sacrifice.
I think it was a snowball. It started with the testimony in Congress, and they started opening up books. They were like, it's time to find receipts to let her go.
So I got to give a counterpoint, right? Mm-hmm. I saw somebody who was at Harvard doing. I was probably listening to NPR riding down the street. And this guy was basically giving a defense of Claudine Gay, I believe her name is. And I think that the question to her was, do you believe that anti-Semitism has a place on Harvard's campus? And she basically was like, no, but, you know, we need to have diverse opinions on campus, which is true. And so the guy was saying, and I can't remember his name right now, but he was saying basically that that's the way they're taught at Harvard, that yes, you shouldn't join the other voices of opposition in the discussion. And that's kind of what got her in trouble, according to whatever they want to say. But like we're saying, you know, it's a Black woman in the space. And what I've seen, I'll pivot for a hot second. What I've seen, I'm here in Charlottesville. What I've seen in Charlottesville is this. Charlottesville doesn't want to be seen as a racist city. Harvard doesn't want to be seen as a racist college. We know that there's racism in Harvard. You know, there's racism here in Charlottesville. So when they allow Black people to take power, they immediately start to discredit this person so that when they release them, they can say, look, we had to do it because of this. But we all know the real reason is because these other people are getting caught doing all kind of stuff in these positions of power, and they never lose their jobs. Or it's a long time before they lose their jobs. They're not getting into the position and immediately getting fired for something trivial. You know. So that's my opinion on it.
And it depends who your donors are, who's on your board, your trustee board. Harvard has a lot of people on their board who are, they're the ones that pretty much make the decisions for Harvard. They make you think you do, but you don't. Because half of the things that happened to her at Harvard has happened at Rutgers, let's say. I'm going to just use that as an example, and other universities as well, too. But Rutgers don't have nearly, not even a third of the
Endowment.
the endowment that they have at Harvard, or that status is not even there. So he will be okay, but she is just not. And she was used as an example. And the example to me, when I read Bill Ackman's Twitter account and what he talked about, DEI was something that was more troubling, seemed like, for him and the board and the trustees than anybody else, than anything else, not even what she said in Congress. I think it was the whole DEI.
It wasn't DEI. It's you hired a Black woman as president of Harvard.
But that's what he said. He was opposed to that.
Yeah, they look at that as like what they call it, what kind of hire? What they call it, when it's based on
an affirmative action hire.
Yeah, he was like, and even some of the people on the board that approved her staying there and approved her hiring, he was like that.
Yeah, and his wife was also accused of plagiarism after going hard
from Wikipedia, right? Was it something from Wikipedia?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, but it was part of her MIT dissertation. So to go to, I think, Schoolboy's point earlier, like they'll get at her for something that all of them do, right? So
absolutely, but again, goes back to where are the support, the legal support to assist her with what she was going through, and what type of support and help did she have?
You know what though? I think that this is a great time to plug the Morehouse College, because there's so many HBCUs that we need Black educators and Black leaders to go and transform these schools. There's an opportunity for them to do that. They might have to take a pay cut to build it back up, but it makes a lot of sense because you're not going to be dealing with those issues. If that's a problem, you jumping in a role and the white people trying to undercut you, go to the Black people, fam. But we'll see. We'll see what people do. For me, I feel like this: as Black people, Black actors, Black directors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we have to start developing our own institutions. That's the time period that we're in. We're 100, not even 100 years from getting the right to vote, which they just took away a couple of years ago again. But if we really want to start to demand certain things from the market, we have to make the market. That's what Malcolm X was saying. He was like, I don't want to sit at the table with people and I don't have nothing to bring to the table. Like, why am I sitting there?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Go ahead.
So the only part of this we didn't touch on, right, is reputation damage. Right? Yeah. She went out there and she, rightly or wrongly, justified or otherwise, prep or not, she became this narrative that was being used to beat up on the school. And the only way out of that as a business like Harvard is to say, we hear you, we're sorry, we're making changes. Those changes are to strategy, and inevitably that means leadership. So when it happens anywhere else, when it happens in finance and the CEO has to step down or the leader has to step down, we go, yeah, because we're vindicated. But today, when it happens to one of our own, or we disagree with the formulation for what that playbook is, she became the story. That story was being used to beat up the school. Regardless of a level of preparation, she's the leader and accountable. So at some level, we need to start thinking in those terms to say, be cautious about how much you put your employer in a scenario where they have to make that and the only decision. Now everybody's talking about, oh, it's unfair for her, but nobody's talking about Harvard anymore and its racism problem and its anti-Jewish problem. That's not the story anymore. At the time she went to Congress, the precise purpose she was brought to Congress, and she should have known that they had that in their trick bag. Do you condone anti-Semitic behavior at Harvard? Any stupid person, even my 3-year-old daughter, would say, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Right? And whatever insight, whatever advice, whatever sick note she didn't use that she could have used, she became the story.
Well, all three of them became the
And she-
story. Because aren't they trying to get rid of MIT now too?
They were always going to. Because guess what? They had already made the mistake 3 months ahead. When all of that was happening on the campus, did you act? Did you have the necessary authority to act to stop that kind of behavior? Did you, having that authority, did you act on it? This is a governance issue, right? And I think sometimes we take it into the media and whatever else. It's a governance issue. It was your job to stop what was happening, correct? Yes. Did you do anything about it? No. Do you condone the behaviors of said people at your place of work?
So
and the
was
place
it-
where you have the authority
so-
to do it?
Hmm. Was it
That's what she answered.
was it a pro-Palestine protest in Harvard? I'm still trying to understand.
Let's take it. Take
I'm
the
just
reason.
curious.
They were on that campus. They were on that campus kicking down doors because for Black Lives Matter. Right? Let's say that was the scenario. And she is back in Congress and she says, do you condone the acts of militants? Because I can go back in history. When that happened in northern New York, when there was a white group of anti-capitalist movements, right? I think Bill Ayers and a whole bunch of people.
About the one in Wall Street.
They fired the president. He condoned that behavior on his campus. So I'm a little bit put back when they go, it's because she's black, it's because of this. No, it's a playbook.
And just FYI, it's happening at every university right now.
Well, you know what happened was in 2020. It's 2024 now. Okay, in 2020, the world was on fire about Black equity and DEI and stuff like that, and they said, okay, good job, you guys. We heard you. Now we're gonna wait for this to die down a little bit. And now what's happening? All those DEI consultants are getting kicked out. The DEI hires are getting kicked out. That's an American, like anybody with the brain would have seen, like, look, 2020 didn't change anything for real in America. You know what I'm saying? Like people going out and jerking and shirking and stuff like that in front of the police, none of that changed anything. The police still out here killing people. A lot of them still getting away with it. You know what I mean? So I think people kind of got what's the word? They got pacified by the showmanship of 2020 and didn't look into the future and say, well, I need to make sure that my job is actually secure here.
Well, you're also not paying attention to policy and law. I mean, the
Right.
Supreme Court just reversed affirmative action
Yeah.
at certain private universities.
Mhm.
So the change is starting. So I think the thing is, it's just like we really need to wake up and really understand what is going on.
That's exactly why I'm
Like,
saying.
like people do not understand. Like I feel like we're just like, oh yes. And I understand what she was trying to do, and I always say whoever advised her wrong in a way around that particular. I mean, her answer was. I was like, girl, you know better. Like, you know better. Like, come on. I was just like, now I know you're trying to be sometimes we try to be witty with our answers and cute. I was like, that ain't cute. That's not cute. I don't know who advised you about that, but I just feel like we definitely need to understand like what is really going on. Like, I feel like it is a new day and Reconstruction is over. The modern day Reconstruction is over. Like DEI is dying, affirmative action is dying. So we need to wake the fuck up.
And you know what? A friend of mine does processing for like the farmers loans and stuff like that. And he always tells me, he's like, because I always talk about reparations and things like that. And he's like, you know what? We can't keep talking about reparations. There's so many laws on the books and set asides for Black people. We have to take advantage of those things. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're so focused on, and a lot of us are focused on, how do I get into these existing institutions that are really old and more for white people specifically?
Trying to make
How do I
change.
break down those barriers? And I don't know how much more they can show us. We can break down all the barriers in the world. They still don't want us there. So once we get there, we're on our way out. Like, why would you fight to be somewhere where you don't need, what you're not wanted? And we have to.
I think the bigger thing, we have bought into white exceptionalism.
Yes.
We buy into that shit. We buy into the unicorns, the I am the only one, I'm the special Black person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because you know how I know that that's true, because look at all the Black millionaires that we have. Look at all the Black billionaires that we have. What is the institution that those people collectively have come together to establish that is similar to the ADL? Where's it at? Like, how come they haven't done this? And if they have done it, why is it such a secret? What are they doing? What's happening? And people like to point back to hip hop and say, well, hip hop has helped so many people. Fam, hip hop has helped the same 100,000 people it helped 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people not eating off of hip hop. I mean, how many people here have worked at a hip hop concert or for somebody related to hip hop? Are you still eating off of that money? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to get a lot better at looking at what we have and working with what we have, because once we've established a power base within our own systems, we can excel. So as an example, Tyler Perry, as much as I really not a big fan of Tyler Perry, he's a great example of doing that. He was on the Chitlin circuit doing that, those plays. Then he turned those plays into terrible movies, and he continues to make terrible movies and shows. But he's making a ton of money because he's established his base with Black women, period. The biggest consumer in the country. You know, it is what it is.
Well, y'all, I'm exhausted. I mean, it's a lot going on. Like, I just thought, we just literally talked about 4 different, from Cat Williams to Dr. Claudine Gay. And I'm just like, we went from
the rooter to the tutor.
Literally. I was just like, we don't have to even think of a topic. That is the show. All of these things, I want us to really understand how exceptional we are. I think we know who we are individually, but trying to bring that together as a community, I think, is one of the key things. Just like from Taraji understanding how to do business, from just even helping people like really ground themselves in who they are and understanding who we are, our worth as a community and what that looks like. So this is a good panel. Thank you, gentlemen.
Wait, we rapping? We ain't even talk about these African features. Where are we going?
We
have
have
to go into the after party. African.
So that's where I can drop some bombs. All right, cool.
Yeah, so everybody meet Marcel in the after party, meet Kofi, meet Montaigne, and of course Sunshine. This was awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Peace. Come to the after party, y'all.
Join Stacked After Hours, The Spot, where grown men and women gather to have candid, also honest discussions about the state of life, love, and more. The Spot is a hybrid of in-person and weekly virtual gatherings. Join our Facebook group and answer our daily questions. Subscribe to our YouTube for our weekly live talk shows, and join us on Zoom for our talk show after parties for lively conversations with other opinionated, grown, and sexy professionals. Just search, like, follow, and subscribe to Stack After Hours on Facebook groups and YouTube. Also like and follow our brand pages at Be Stacked Wellness on Facebook and IG. So wherever you are, at home or abroad, pull out your laptop, tablet, or smartphone and join in the conversation with the members of Stacked After Hours. The Spot by Be Stacked Wellness. See you there.
As you know, and if you are new to the Stacked family, we always keep our conversations lit and enlightening.